Hi, I've just wet the Fabriano paper, the usual 15 by 11. I did this demonstration this morning for you on YouTube, but for some reason I mucked up the recording. Well, I wiped it off anyway, so I'm going to have to do it again. But this is the large size, the half imperial. So I put that by the side of me. This is part of the series of 3 paintings from Stowe House up near Milton Keynes. So I've wet the paper all over, and I'm going to put in just a background of sky colour, raw sienna, just stroke it across. Now, it was a grey winter's day last Monday when my friend went there, and whilst there he took these photos that I'm working from. It was a grey day, so nice grey sky. Mix a bit of Payne's grey with the ultramarine, just drag it in across. Where the water's going to go, I'm going to leave this area clear because there's a snowy bank along there. I don't want to put any colour on that yet, so I can use a bit of grey later if I want to. Now, snow is never white, it reflects what's around it. If you hold a piece of white paper against some snow, you'll see the difference. You'll see that the snow reflects what's in the sky, local colour. It's never pure white, but it looks like it in contrast with all the darker things around it. Right, now we've got a horizon here with a few trees on, a lot of trees coming into this bank here, and over here you've got the bank coming across and going off about there with trees above it. So I'm going to put the distant trees in, and I'm going to go about there with these. I'm not going to take these too far across because they're going to be covered over, but I want to give a nice distance here. Cloth's a bit, brush is a bit wet, it's running down, but never mind. I'll do a bit of reflection there. Right, okay. And now I'm going to just put this bank in to show where it comes across. Here I'm using burnt umber and Payne's grey for this. So it comes about there. And above it there's a snowy bank. Now I'll bring that a touch over there. So that's where that will be. Right, okay. As that dries, I'm going to put the trees coming round to the right, and they're forward of this lot here. So I'm going to mix a bit of ultramarine, burnt umber, keep them on the warm side. And there's a bank coming up here, so we'll leave that as a snow area. We can put a bit of trees coming out of that there. So these are just the background trees. We're going to cover these up largely with heavier trees coming up from this bank. We just want to show them there, and if I put a bit of blue in, it'll give the illusion that they're further back anyway. But the sheer size of them compared to this tells you more or less where they are in the landscape. Right. Okay. Now, just flicking. Paper's still a bit wet. Just some trunks coming up here to show something going on there with the fingernail. Don't overdo it. Right, okay. I'll just re-clip the paper beauty of wetting the paper all over to start with is that by stretching it like this, you can keep it nice and flat. And this paper's quite forgiving. It's quite light. It's 130 pound weight, but it's very good. Fabriano. Buy this from Art Discount, Granthams, and it was about £30 for 100 sheets, and it's very good. And so it's a nice size to paint on. Right, now here we've got the shrubby trees, bit of green tree there coming down, and then outlining the top of this snowy bank coming across here. So I'm going to put those in. I'm going to put them in blue, burnt umber, raw sienna. These are the background trees. A bit of green. So just put them in. And these are the background. And I can have some branches, twigs going from them. Now I'm going to put some little darks in here. As it comes down to the bank. Okay, that'll be the bank there and the bank. Bit of grass going across. Oops. Not going to bother about the reflection in here yet. Do that afterwards when the paper's dry. Just want to show the construction of this. Just a bit of. Right, okay. Just show some. There was a shrubby green, dark green tree in here, but I might put it in. We'll see how we go. Right, that'll do. Something like that. Now, as that's drying on that side, I can go back to this side now and put in these trees coming out of the bank. We do all these with a rigger, burnt umber, and ultramarine, and just these are the little ones. Just coming here, just on the blue side to show a bit of distance. Don't draw with the hake. Just touch, dabs and dibs and dobs. Coming up here, going up there. See, these are just some background trees. The main trees are going to come up from this bank here. So we're just indicating something going on there. We don't want these all looking the same. These are a bit bigger. Right, okay. That will do for that. I'll give that a bit of a dry. Drop of tea. Right. That's fairly dry now. I can go in with some darker trunks in that area. Blue and burnt umber. Quite a strong mix. A bit of Payne's grey just to help it along. Right, we'll have fun with this brush. Hits and misses. Gets better as it gets older. You do have this problem with the amount of water on it, but you get used to that. You can dab it on a piece of cloth, keep the excess water out of it. And he's coming across here, taking a bit of artistic license here. There were some trees coming up here, and spreading at the top. But tree's a tree. They did have a bit of snow on, but I can't really show that unless I scrape it off with a razor blade afterwards when it's dry. But you need to do it, if you do it at all, it's got to be bone dry, and you need quite a bit of dark paint to do it against it, otherwise you won't get the contrast between the light and the dark. So if I get a dark green going there with the lemon yellow, just around here, the usual palette of lemon yellow, raw sienna, ultramarine, alizarin crimson, light red, burnt umber and Payne's grey. Alright, let's just put that in there. Get some thick yellow in there, see if it registers. Yeah, it registers there. Right, okay. Let's scrape the grasses back into that. Right, I'm going to clean the brush. Let's put a bit into this bank here. Dark, burnt umber and Payne's grey. I don't really like to use the Payne's grey on its own. I use it to mix with other colours to modify them. Now this is just showing the water side of the snowy bank. Right, okay. Just coming up here just a little bit. Drag it into the water. I'll do the reflections when I've done all this stuff. Right, okay. Now, a bit dry over there now. Over here, I'll just put in a bit of a bank there. A bit of Payne's grey and just showing some. Just drag some heavier stuff in there as it comes towards sort of shrubby grasses, not grasses, ivy. Alright, okay. Right, I'll just stroke in some shapes over those twigs on the blue side. Right, okay. Merge that a little bit. Right, okay, let's dry that off. Right, I'll show this bank a little bit across there. Very faint. Probably a bit too distinct there. Right, let's just drag that down. Right, okay. So a bit of a reflection there. Right. Right, okay. Just dry here. Now I've put in some of the heavier trees along this bank and on this bank here, going up into the hill. Try not to cover too much of the snow area. As usual, burnt umber and oxmarine. So we come up here. Does it? Brush might be just a bit wet. Alright. I'm trying to make them look different and not use the rigger. I find you don't need to use the rigger to do this, provided you can control the water in the brush by dragging it on or wiping it on a cloth, any excess moisture, because I've even got too much there because it's running down to the bottom. Now we'll put some coming out of this bank here. There we go. The brush is making nice marks now. It's hitting and missing. Right, okay. Now I can just strengthen those up just a little bit, some of them. That might make the ones behind lay back in the landscape. Ah, okay. And let's have some more colour here. Right. Let's just drag in some twigs. Warmer there. Right, there's also excuse my cough. Right, puts in some stuff, I've called it, ivy, just general shrubby trees. Most of the trees are deciduous and they've lost their leaves, but you do get some stuff climbing in there. I can do a yellowy green. Let's put in the bank. Trying to leave some unpainted bits just to give an impression of there being some snow. Not sure about that. That's a bit regular. We'll just break that up a little bit. Right, okay, that's not too bad. Alright, I'm just strengthening up the tops of these trees. They're looking a bit weak. No, looking a bit probably too strong. Right. Oh dear. Dry this area now. Right, wet it. Now remember, don't scrub too much there. And now we're going to put in the background colours into that with a fairly dry brush. Right. Getting darker as it's coming into the foreground. Okay. So I wanted that to be fairly dark there. I'm stopping there, because that's the edge of the bank. Right, okay. Clean the brush. And have a little drip of tea. Not my sore throat. Right, just pick up the loose water there. And I want to put some twigs on there now, while I think of it. Blue for the background, well, sort of blue. Be careful when you do this, you can overdo it. Right, now that water's drying into the paper over there, I want to put in the reflections of the trees, and I have been using a rigger, but I don't like it very much. I can't do it and not interfere with the camera, so here we are. I'm just going to just darken there. And then these trees coming off of that bank there. More blue. Might be a bit distinct, but never mind. Right, I'm going to put in I'm going to dry that first along the bottom. A little bit, just a bit of grey. So it doesn't quite go white, so we just put some grey in there. Okay, right, dry it off. didn't dry that off enough. I think I'll take a bit more license. I'll use a bit of tissue and I'll wet the 1/2 inch brush, this acrylic type brush, very good. And I'm just going to indicate a boathouse or something there. Blot it. Don't know if there are any boats on this lake, but right, okay. Look at the roof level. Right, okay, yeah, it's just about registers. Just gives a little bit of interest. And I suppose you can lift that colour like this. Careful. Just to show something. Right, now in the foreground I'm just going to do a bit of texturing. Show some grass coming up here. I'll use palette green. Overdo it. I'll show just a little bit of shadow. Not sure if this will work. Dry. Final bit of a flurry. We'll put in some branchy, brambly stuff here. Right, I'll dry the brush off, then with the brush like that, if you just dry it off, you can get all the hairs separate and you can bob it in the palette, in the grey, palette grey, and you can just show something like this. Show something going on there. Show a few leaves. Alright, okay. I think I'll let that go. I'll sign it with the rigger, which I haven't used. Yeah, sign down here. Okay, that's about as far as I can go. I'm going to put that in a mount now, just bear with me. Shan't be a moment. Just have one right here. Right, there we are. There, that's not too bad, is it? If I bring it closer to you, you can see the sort of brushwork that I've used. Alright, I hope you've learnt something from this and hope it's okay. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.